Hi, this is James, the comic book Shifu. Welcome to another episode of Read More Comics. This week's episode, we're going to be focusing on pickups and pulls. As I've shared every Sunday, we're going to be diving into the books that I picked up at my LCS and any other pickups that stand out, at least to me. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. Anyway, let's jump in. So, I've had the fortune this weekend of getting caught up on my read pull box. My read short box. I have a short box for my reads that are kind of building up. I prefer, and this goes back, I think, to the pandemic because of distribution issues at the time. I've learned to prefer reading entire arcs, reading 3, 4, 5 issues at a time. And as a result, I fall behind on some of my reading, and I'm not up to what the current storyline arc is focusing on. So some of the books in here, I've been able to catch up to what's going on now. And so I can kind of give you some insight on what you might be looking for if you're looking for something to read at your LCS or wherever you buy comic books. So to start out, we have Batman issue 137. Sorry about the glare. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, this is much better. 137. This is the Lobos cover. I have not seen his work before. This reminds me of a cover of Bane done by Matina somewhere in the late hundreds of Tom King's run, I believe. Anyway, this is the second issue of the Gotham War arc, Gotham War mini event that is a crossover between Catwoman and Batman. Chip Zdarsky has been laying the groundwork for some of the mentality, some of the psychology behind the arc, going back to the beginning 2 stories of his run. That was definitely showing in the prelude issue of Batman, Catwoman, Gotham Warzone, I think it was. I got the foil with the Jim Lee cover. It was the last episode. I'm drawing a blank what it was. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to where Mr. Zdarsky goes in this issue because in that issue, they kind of developed this organic reason why Catwoman and Batwoman have a falling out, which, it's comic books. It was going to happen anyways. It was just a matter of time. Even though Tom King had spent a long time over the course of his almost 100 issues developing that relationship, you can see that things have become strained since the falling out of the wedding issue. So Zdarsky's definitely showing his chops where he's pulling in this psychology, the evolution of the relationship between these two characters, and more specifically, what's going on with Batman and his relationship with his mission, with his relationship with the Batman family. The prelude issue, the first chapter of the Batman, Catwoman, Gotham War is definitely worth checking out. I thought it was a strong issue. There was only one weak point where I felt that there wasn't enough character development, and maybe it's because I don't know enough about the character. It involved Red Hood. So I'm not going to spoil it, but Red Hood's not like one of my favorite characters. I don't pull any of his stuff. If he shows up, it's because he's showing up in other Batman family stuff that I enjoy. So maybe it made total sense. But to me, because I don't have that background, my focus is more on Batman. And I have some knowledge of the relationship between Batman and Catwoman. Collected some of the Catwoman issues. What was it? Jolie Jones and her run after she fled Gotham, after the fallout of the Bat-Cat marriage. So anyway, other than that, it was an amazing issue. And it's setting up a conflict between these two characters that, again, I'm going to use the word organic. It's very organic, makes total sense. And it's not one of those things where, oh no, it's another situation where Gotham is on fire. And it kind of begs the question, why does anybody live in Gotham City? We saw that a couple times with Tynion. I think he had 2 of those. Gotham is under siege. Tom King only had 1. No, he had Year the Joke. It was the War of Jokes and Riddles. That's what it is. So he kind of had two. And we go back to Snyder. He had a couple as well. So this is really different in the line that I don't foresee that we're going to see Gotham under siege once again. I think this is going to be a pretty low key, more of a psychological conflict, more of a political conflict. At least that's what I'm hoping. So anyway, looking forward to reading this. I haven't gotten to it yet. Really, again, let's see if I can get it right there. Sorry again about the glare. Batman 137. Zdarsky's run, if you haven't been reading Batman, I'd go to his very first issue. It's only 2 arcs. It's been really good. Okay, next one is Fantastic Four. This is issue number 11. These have been kind of standalone issues. Really fun reads if you like the first family of Marvel, which I got into with Dan Slott. Though, to be honest, when I was a wee lad, I remember watching a Fantastic Four cartoon way back in the late 70s. First instance I've ever seen a Magneto. They tricked him. They foiled him by, what was it? I think Mr. Fantastic made a gun out of wood or something like that, and it broke Magneto's brain. Anyway, we're a long way from that. So this run has been a lot of fun. This is the Alex Ross cover. You can see it right there. And they're pretty much standalone issues. There's only 11 issues in, so if you're looking at trying to get into something that is a little unconventional as superhero books go, I definitely recommend Fantastic Four. It focused more on the family dynamic, which makes sense since the relationship between the 4 primary characters is so long-lived and strong. It focuses on the kids. It has this interesting kind of overarching story involving the disappearance of their children and how Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, is responsible for that. But then each issue is more or less just diving into some quirky kind of monster of the week type thing. Let me adjust my camera. There we go. All right. Definitely recommend this. If you're looking for something a little non-conventional, I dig the art. So I've heard some reviews where they were a little critical of the art. But I think the story is on point. It's different than anything else I think Marvel in their superhero line is producing at the time. Okay, next, I need to reorganize some things. Okay, apologize for that. I got a lot of books this week. So, next we have the Joker. This is Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 10. This is the Mattina cover. I apologize. Mattina, as any Mattina fan might know, tends toward the darker palettes. This draws on a lot of greens. One thing I have to give props to, and we saw that with the Batman issue, the cardstock covers that DC has been shipping out have been gorgeous. They hold up so well, but even the paper quality I think is so much better than what we see with Marvel. Here we have a Marvel issue. See, it's pretty flat. This is a cardstock issue, and I recognize it's going to be thicker, but you can actually see the paper in there. Anyway, this is a continuation of a story that began, well, it's going on about a year now. In this, Rosenberg is writing this tale where there are 2 Jokers, okay, and both of them claim to be the real Joker, and the evidence in the story suggests they might be both the real Joker, and maybe it's pulling on Jeff Johns' 3 Jokers story. I don't know, it really hasn't come out, but it's a really fun read if you like the Joker. This one also has Red Hood and Batgirl in it as kind of the heroes. And really what's going on is one Joker is foiling the other Joker's kind of gimmick, I guess. It's really not a crime spree. It's not a typical Joker story in my mind. A lot of fun with this one if you enjoy reading the Joker. Again, it's pretty low key. It's not the oh, the Joker has this scheme that's going to put Gotham under siege. It's just this low key, again, more of a psychological story because the two Jokers have very different Joker esque personalities. One is more the crime boss, the other one's more the comedian. So I guess it is kind of tapping into John's Three Jokers story. It's hard to say, though, at this point. It's a little graphic. The art is on point. I recommend this if you enjoy Joker stories that are not Batman centric. This is definitely not. Okay. It's more in line with kind of Tinian's run on Batman, but even that was a little bigger in my mind than this, involving like international crime syndicates and stuff like this. You don't get any of this. This is pretty low key in my mind, which is one of the reasons why I've been enjoying reading it. Next issue. This is issue number 1 of Masters of the Universe Forge of Destiny. Here we go right here. This is a prequel to the Kevin Smith Netflix series. I really dug the Kevin Smith Netflix series. I thought it was a wonderful homage to the original 1980s cartoon. And the prequels, this is the second prequel, have been a great connection to that story. So if you like the Netflix series, you definitely would like this. I think the first prequel was actually written by Kevin Smith. This one is written by Tim Seeley with art by Eddie Nunez, who did the cover. I just got the A cover right here. So this is kind of a nostalgia pull for me. I've been recognizing that one of the things I've been doing, maybe it hasn't even been consciously, but I've been pulling books that connect to my childhood in some way. Master of the Universe is definitely a part of that. Dungeons and Dragons, the IDW books that have been coming out, definitely a part of that too. Not really heavy stories, but they kind of have that appeal. They kind of have that connection to my childhood. This is Poison Ivy. This is G. Willow Wilson. I believe. I think this. I have to get back to you on the cover. It kind of looks like a Josh Middleton cover, but I don't think it is. Okay, it doesn't have that kind of cleanness on the lines that Middleton does. Okay, let's see if we can get that. So here we go. Two things have really stood out with this series, and this is what attracted my attention to it. First, my LCS was fortunate enough. There's my dog moving in the background. She's a juggernaut. Anyway, my LCS was fortunate enough to get one of the team's books, and it was gorgeous. For issue number 1 of Poison Ivy. And I try to support my LCS. Please do support your LCS. It was a normal comic book purchase. It wasn't like inflated in any way. It was the MSRP. So, I'm sorry, my allergies are really bothering me. Anyway, so I saw it, and the cover just attracted my attention. Had a matte finish, but then a gloss finish in other parts. I don't remember who the artist was. But then when I actually read this story, I found that Wilson was creating this compelling narrative for Poison Ivy, a character which I really hadn't followed. And I think in the kind of Batman rogues gallery is at best, kind of on the fringe. Not really a villain, just a little bit more extreme in how she's willing to achieve her ends. Okay. Unlike the Riddler or Penguin, Penguin's not a fair comparison. I think Joker is a better comparison, or Two-Face or something like that. Not a criminal in that light, okay? More of an extremist. So I found the story to be really compelling. The writing would include kind of journal excerpts or letter excerpts that Poison Ivy was writing to Harley. Never really knowing if she had sent them or not, but it was just a kind of a part of the narrative, giving insight to the character as she was going upon this scheme that would lead to the extinction of the human race. Okay. And while it seems like this kind of big Justice League level event, through the arc, she ends up foiling her own plot and comes to this other realization. Okay, so there's this character development that I think is really engaging. Again, we're getting some insight to the psychology of the character. The covers, DC has been kicking it up a notch and having like AAA artists on the variant covers. And while they do have some ratio covers out there, which are really cool, you have like this one right here. This is one of their cardstock covers. And you have this amazing artist on it. Like Josh Middleton had a run on it. Let's see, there was... I'm drawing a total blank on who else was there. Anyway, but every issue had multiple gorgeous covers. This is a little hiatus, just like Joker After Night Terrors. Both the Poison Ivy and the Joker books, by the way, it's just 2 issues in Night Terrors. They're a fun read. Joker, his nightmare is becoming a normal person and getting a day job as a manager in an office. A lot of fun with that. And then with Poison Ivy, she ends up in kind of this Twilight Zone neighborhood where everything is just too perfect, and brilliant 2-issue arc there. I think Wilson wrote that also. So definitely recommend this. This is issue number 14. So, you'd have to pick up a couple trades to get caught up unless you like collecting the individual issues, and they probably are out there. Let's see. This is Shazam number 3. Mark Waid doing the writing. Dan Mora doing the art. I've been collecting the Samney covers. And I have to say, and here it is right here, that they have this very retro vibe to it. And that's what attracted my attention to it. Shazam isn't like my number one hero to pull, but I have a connection with Shazam that goes all the way back to being a little kid. I remember the 1970s cartoon. I used to watch that diligently when I was a wee lad. So when Shazam pops up, I try to pull the issues. Like there was the Jeff Johns run. Recently, I think after DC Rebirth, I think that was 12 issues. That was a really engaging story. I love the backup stories in Justice League and New 52 that Jeff Johns was doing. And so these things kind of kept Shazam on my radar. And when I heard Mark Waid was picking it up, and I've heard good things about Dan Moore, I haven't seen a lot of his art, I decided to go with these. And the Samney covers, again, this is a cardstock cover. DC is killing it on the kind of quality control with both their covers, and I think the paper stock they use on the interiors. Marvel really needs to take a note on that. So if you're a big Shazam fan, definitely you want to check this out. Let's see. So these are 2 issues. These are new. We have Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy. I got into Silver Surfer with Dan Slott's run. He turned me on really hard to Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer with both his runs. And what I have enjoyed about this, I've been kind of talking smack about Marvel. One thing been critical. One thing I've enjoyed is that Marvel has taken the Silver Surfer character, and instead of trying to artificially make it into a long run, which I could see being quite a challenge because of the nature of the character, they have been doing, sorry, my headphones kind of slipping. They've been turning it into more of kind of like doing a maxi series or a mini series, drawing in kind of classic Silver Surfer Volume 3 artists. Ron Lim has been doing a lot of the work. And so it's been a lot of fun with that. And the writers have definitely been drawing on the mythology of the Silver Surfer. I think inside the Marvel superhero universe, if we put aside the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer is probably neck and neck for me with Captain America. Okay, so I got 2 covers here. One is just for the PC because I don't have a cover like that. And I went, hey, this would be something affordable. Me and my LCS owner, we've talked about how buying comic book covers or buying comic book issues just for the cover, really you're getting an art print. And here, this is a gorgeous cover. The other one's my reader copy. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't have any other artists on the first issue. Marvel typically goes bonkers with their variants. None of the other ones really attracted my attention. in any way. So I got the Frank Miller cover. And I don't think, I know there's been a lot of criticism of Frank Miller. I don't think it's a bad cover at all. So that's going to be my reader copy. And then I got the Jason Tyler Christopher negative space cover. I don't have many negative space covers. And this one just like kind of blew my mind with Thanos. So I may or may not get that graded. It was just something I wanted to have in my PC. The last two are those of my pulls, and then we got a couple pickups I'm going to try to get through quickly. So this is a continuation of the Dark Droids event. Charles Soule has been a master at long-term stories in his Star Wars work. I definitely recommend this. I mean, you can pick up anywhere, and he gives enough support for the audience to see what's going on. So this is Star Wars Dark Droids issue 38. This is the A cover. It out of the events he's done, I really enjoyed Vader Down because it was a very efficient, it was concise kind of mini event. It wasn't like line wide or anything like that. The last event he did with Crimson Rain, I think it was. That was kind of line wide, and I pulled a bunch of books that were more tie-ins rather than essential to the story. And so at this point, I'm just pulling my normal Darth Vader and the main Star Wars book and the Dark Droids event book itself. Okay. I've read the first couple of chapters of this miniseries, or not miniseries, this event. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of tapping into what is essentially a background character in all Star Wars stories. We're talking about droids, okay, and how they go evil. So it is fun. So this is chapter 3. Well, I don't know if it's chapter 3. It's a tie-in. It's just my normal pulls. And then this is chapter 2 of the mini. I think there are 4 issues in this, maybe 5. This is the Rachel, I think it's Rachel Stout, I think, did the cover. I'm going to be honest, this was kind of a bait and switch for me. When I saw this, let's see if we can get a better one. Okay, when I saw this, I thought it was going to be kind of a minimal trade dress, just focused on the droid, and it wasn't going to have the title up there. I still like the cover. I was just a little disappointed in the Previews World website when I ordered it. Not quite what it looked like. It did not have the trade dress up here. It's kind of a minimal trade dress. This would also have done really well if it wasn't a card stock. I think it would have made, I don't know, it just would have been a better quality in my mind. They could have done those 2 things and gone for a variant, and I think that would have been cool. And I'll be honest, let's see, this is a $4.99 issue. I would have paid $5.99 for something like that. So 2 pickups. My LCS has begun picking up collections that people have been selling, and so this is helping me fill in a couple runs. The big one for me, and because this was the gateway into adult collecting, is Conan the Barbarian Volume 1. So I was able to pick up in their long boxes, they had issue number 78, which I needed, and then they held this issue for me when I went last week, and so this is Conan the Barbarian number 10. Both are in really nice condition and great pickups for my PC. So that's all I have to share. Please, if you liked what you heard, share, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching another issue of Read More Comics.